attachment with some water and blend it up. Nice and fine. It takes maybe 30 seconds, and I'm going to pour it into my pot. So we put it in our pot. I don't know if we want to get a good close-up of this Russ or not. Put it in the pot with the berries, and if you can get a close-up, you can, of what the compote looks like when it's all cooked. So this is only sweetened with dates. And if you want it a little bit thicker, there's a couple different options. You can use cornstarch or arrowroot powder and do about 1 tablespoon. The thing with this is you don't want to just pour it onto your fruit. You want to mix it with a little bit of water, or what you call a slurry. Make a slurry with it, because otherwise it will just make chunks in your fruit sauce. So mix it up with a little bit of water so it's more like a paste or a little bit thinner, and then pour it into your fruit and cook it up until it thickens. The other option is chia seed will thicken for you as well. So if you put a couple tablespoons of this, let it sit for a little bit, it will thicken. So it's your choice. You could use the powders or use some chia seeds. So this is an alternative to a lot of your sugary syrups. Okay, going on to the scrambled tofu.
I have one question. How much water do you put in with the dates?
Just, you want to cover the dates and just blend it up till it's a liquid, and then pour it over the fruit. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to demo some tofu here. If you've never used tofu before, I'll show you what you will do. So it comes in these little packs. You can buy it at Walmart, Price Chopper. I got this at Aldi actually. It's kind of hit or miss finding it at Aldi. So the first thing is you cut it open, you drain off the water, and you have this little cube here for whoever's not familiar with tofu. Now you can mash this with a fork, but I prefer to just squeeze it with my hands and make it kind of crumbly. So you take your block and just squish it.
Joe, please say it right.
Now there's a lot of different levels of firmness of tofu. What one works best for scrambling eggs?
For a tofu scramble, I like just a firm. The extra firm, if you want to cube it to put into stir fries, I prefer that. You do not want silken tofu for this because it will just be very, very, it won't have any texture. It's very, very soft. Silken tofu is more for like blending to make a yogurt or pie, something like that. So yeah, get to just the medium firm. And then I like my tofu very simple. There's a lot of recipes out there, and I'll talk about some other seasonings. You can get any type of mock chicken seasoning. Now this is my favorite, McKay's. It has celery, turmeric, onion powder, garlic powder, other herbs in here, vegetable oil. And what I do is I just sprinkle this over the tofu. I don't really measure when I cook, I just kind of cook to taste. And then what you want is turmeric. And you don't need a lot of this, just a little bit. This is mostly for color, but it's also very good for pain reliever too. Some people can take that if they have a lot of pain, joint pain and things. So just a little bit of turmeric. Optional, if you want, you can add nutritional yeast flakes. This gives it a little bit of a cheesy taste. And you can get some vitamin B12 in here as well if you're worried about that. So maybe like a tablespoon or so. And then you can add, if you need a little more water, you want it a little bit more moist, you can add some water. Or some fresh garlic is really good in your tofu. And then finish it up with the black salt. It's called Kala Namak. You can order it on Amazon. I think it comes from India, but it's got a very sulfury taste. Makes it taste just like eggs. But I always put that on afterwards because it will cook out when it's too hot in the pan. So add it when you're done cooking it, add it at the end. So that's the tofu, and you can add any type of vegetables you like in it as well. You can add onion powder, garlic, Italian seasoning, whatever you like in your tofu. Christy made that for us today. This is a very versatile recipe. You can kind of add whatever vegetables you have into this, But what you're gonna do is to chop your veggies nice and fine, okay? Just what you're eating, you're seeing that already. I also like to add zucchini and yellow squash and make this in the summertime when I have all that produce from my garden. So chop up your veggies nice and small. You're gonna mix in some garbanzo beans or chickpeas with that. Rinse and drain them first. And then you're gonna drizzle some olive oil, some garlic powder, and salt. And finish it off with a tahini dressing, or my children like ketchup. So that's an option as well. Even just buying plain tahini and just drizzling it is really delicious. So that's an option for you. And just one last part, I found something that Ellen White stated. She talks a lot about our health message, and said to make breakfast run more nearly to the heartiest meal of the day because it's very important. Cups of oats. Now I'm using gluten-free oats for this specific batch, but you don't have to use gluten-free oats. You're going to put in some vanilla, some salt, and then your choice of sweetener. Now it doesn't have to be honey, it could be an organic cane sugar, or you could use agave or maple syrup, or I like to use dates a lot of times. This will blend up nicely in the waffle recipe. So these are medjool dates. You have to remove the pit, but you can throw a couple of these in to substitute for the sweetener. But I'm going to use just the raw honey here for this batch. About a tablespoon. And then something I like to add to get some more nutrients, you can add some chia, flax, or hemp seed to it, and just 1 or 2 tablespoons is fine. So I think I'll do some hemp and some chia. And then we're gonna blend it for like 30 seconds here.